Have you ever done a drawing and then mostly painted all of it in watercolor, only to realize that the subject's proportions are off, in the wrong place, whatever, after you're almost finished? Um, I have a solution for you. Okay, so this is the actual reference photo that my customer sent me to use for their custom pet portrait. This is the paper I'm using, Windsor & Newton watercolor, 140 pound, 12 by 16. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into Photoshop and make a new document that is the same size as our watercolor paper. Okay, but first hold up. I don't want you guys to quit this video because you don't have Photoshop or you haven't paid for it yet. There is a free program called GIMP that does the same kind of things. It's a little bit clunkier, but it's free and it's totally usable. I used GIMP for at least a year before I ever purchased Photoshop. Okay, that's all. Carry on. Okay, before you go into this section, you should get a pen and paper because there's going to be some commands that you might want to remember and write down. Alright, so you're going to open Photoshop and you're going to go up to File, New, and you're going to make a new document. And you're going to make sure it's the same size and orientation as your watercolor paper. You're going to make sure you're using inches. I do resolution at 300, and then all the settings are what you see here on the screen. And then click Create. Now you've got a document that's the exact same proportions as your watercolor paper you're going to be using. Alright, now it's time to go get your reference photo and layer it over your new document to make sure it fits just right. So go to File, Open, find your reference photo, it's going to open it in a new tab. So you're going to want to crop it if you have any extra edges like we do in this one, and make it more landscape oriented. So we're going to get rid of the bottom here and the top so that it just fits a little more nicely. And then hit the checkbox above. Now you're going to select it. Command A selects it. Then Command C copies it. Go to your new document with the size of your watercolor paper and Command V to paste it. Then you can do Command T and scale it to fit over your watercolor paper exactly where you want it to be. Sometimes this can take a little practice and some time, so just keep working with it where just seems right for you. Once you get it where you want, just go click the checkbox up at the top again. Okay, now you're ready to start sketching because now you can see exactly how this reference photo is going to fit onto your paper. This prevents you from having to erase and redraw and erase and redraw over and over and over again. Alright, now I'm sketching out the dog on my paper as I see it fitting in Photoshop. This doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure that the subject fits on the page in the way that you hoped, so that you don't have a tail or an ear or an eye that just doesn't have room to fit. Okay, now you have a really rough sketch. Don't get super obsessed about it, just do your best to get everything as accurate as you can. Then you're going to open this sketch in Photoshop and layer it over your cropped image. So go to Open, find your sketch image, click Open, and now you have the sketch on a new tab. If it comes out in the wrong orientation, just go up to Image, Image Rotation, and fix the orientation. Now you're going to select and copy this and bring it over to your image. So Command A selects it, then Command C copies it. Go over to your tab where your image is and do Command V to paste it. Now Command T will open the transform tabs where you can scale it. Make sure your layer is selected over on the side, and you can change the opacity so you can kind of see through it and see where the features fit. Okay, this part can take some practice and getting used to. For this image, I stuck with where the eyes were and decided to adjust other parts like the nose and the mouth or the size of the head and other things. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Okay, so you might be wondering here, like, why doesn't she just trace the image? Why does she go through all these steps instead of just tracing? And that is because sometimes I like to enhance certain aspects of the portrait and make it a little bit more of my own than just a complete copy. So let's say I want to enhance the ears or the eyes or the snout a little bit. Layering my drawing over the image kind of helps me know where I stand. So it helps me know how much I've enhanced it or changed the foreshortening or any of the changes that I've decided to make, just the artistic choices I've made. It helps me know exactly how intensely I did that and where I'm at exactly. And this all is just preparation for the watercolor painting process, since you can't really change these things with watercolor once you start painting. Okay, now that I've got the general placement where I want it, I'm going in and I'm doing the details and sort of making the mental notes I need to make before I start painting. Okay, now you're ready to start painting, but before I show you that video of the whole painting process, which is the most rewarding and the best part, I just wanted to reiterate that, you know, this may seem like a lot of steps when you first see this, but you get faster at it when you do it, and it prevents so much stress and hassle during the painting process. You prevent having to fight with yourself and to be fixing things over and over and over. It's already there for you. The drawing is where you need it to be, so the painting can just be relaxing and fun. So enjoy the painting video.